Hi everybody, welcome to this production walkthrough of my song, Satellite, which released on the album Flight Box, which was released by Infloresce Records 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. And you can get it on our Bandcamp, and you can also stream it on YouTube. But I wanted to take you through this weird, wild, wacky track because there's tons of stuff going on, and it really snowballed into something much different than where it started. So if we look at the beginning, oh my god, as you can see, there are 86 tracks. I really wanted to start with ambiance. I've been listening to a lot of Igloo Ghost I was kind of studying him and other IDM artists for a separate project for some client work. And then I really took a lot of that knowledge to heart, and I wanted to try to apply it to a personal track. But I also really didn't want to think at all. So I started out with this big pad. I knew I wanted it to be big, and I'm sorry, the audio capture here is only going to be mono, so we're not going to get the full stereo field. Okay, so we get this nice big swell, and that's really what I want to capture, is how big this track can be and how floating it is. Weightless it can feel. I wanted it to feel like you're floating and then you're smashed down into the ground. So all the way up here, we've got this kind of the heart of our beginning, which is this fun little preset I made with this little guitar sample and a bunch of other stuff. It's fun. You can do a whole bunch of stuff in Vital, and what I did is I doubled it and I added a slapback delay on it. So this is our like feedback automation in there. So we can tell that this groove, which I'm going to play in a second, is full of just tons of samples. So let's play it. Crucial part. This little hi-hat offset on the offbeat, that adds a ton to the groove. It sounds silly. So it has a lot of things happening. There's so much texture in there, and I wanted it to be like almost overwhelming how many textures you could feel and hear, and wanted it to sort of seep into your brain. This is the only bit of sort of the concept of flight that's in this, which is a jet engine sample. It's just used as a little combined with this little pop guy, which is just an EQ'd white noise, I think. Yes, with a big old filter on there.
Not still in the wandering mind. I dwell on ills of a monstrous kind. My lips betray my heart's design.
So a lot of the times with my lyrics, I want to just convey a general feeling. I want the words to kind of evoke the feeling that I feel when I say them. It is more of kind of a mosaic of lyrics as opposed to saying things that explicitly make sense. Because that's what I'm really trying to do, is just evoke emotion on these words that are strung together. So we get, I dwell on ills of a monstrous kind. A lot of my lyrics are about dissociation, and I have a lot of chronic pains that have been going on for the past 8 years now, and those really get in the way of living a lot of the time. I've had a constant headache since 2018. It has not gone away, and so that makes makes going through everyday life kind of like I'm living in a cloud. So most of my personal music kind of reflects that.
Of a monstrous kind.
But then we get this, I don't know, the groove is kind of silly. It's bouncy. There's a lot going on. Then we get to this part.
Never make it out in time. There's no guarantee.
So I believe, is this the first part we get the choir in there? Shout out Bulgaria, the Rhodope ethnic Bulgarian choir. Really good VST. I've got 2 of those. And why do I have 2 of them? I don't know. I really don't know. That might have been a mistake. Yes, it was, because it was a mistake, and that's fine. No one noticed. I didn't even notice. But yeah, I wanted to make it feel like, I don't know, 90s prog. And how, like, all of a sudden there would be just an injection of this complete contrast of sound. So we get this drum and bass sound.
There's no guarantee.
And we get this beat specifically. Which is sick. It's sick. I'll just say. It's sick, and it goes. It's sick, and it goes. So then, of course, I like to do stops whenever there's a repeat of a section. Listen to my other songs, and you'll hear, if I repeat a section, you're going to hear a weird stop in there. Maybe at the beginning or in the middle, to make it a little more interesting.
My spirit longs for light.
And of course, this is the introduction of our pal, Stemage, who absolutely crushed it. He's one of my favorite people on this planet. A true professional and just an outstanding player.
My spirit longs for light. I'll philosophize. Night. I collect.
Woo! When I heard that the first time, my goodness. That's why you get professionals, people. You don't have to do it all yourself. I tried to play this part, and then the part that comes after it. There's a ton of my guitar channels in here that are heavily edited, let's say that.
I collapse inside. When will it stop?
I think this is like my most poppy thing I think I've ever done, which is this funny little wow. And that, of course, is it's a Serum and a Tankla preset in Vital. But yeah, it has this like grit, this sharp edge to it that I really like. Yeah, it feels a little corny though when I hear it, and that's what the song is. It's sort of leaning into how corny, but how good that sort of cheese factor can be.
Will it stop?
Lonely Mask of Dreams was like when I was writing this, that was sort of the inside joke with my partner, because that's so silly. Lonely Mask of Dreams is a very silly thing to say. And it does feel like it has an intense meaning. And it does. I think there's a reason why I wrote it. But also, Lonely Mask of Dreams is so like 90s prog, trying to be deep. And I really wanted to lean into that.
Lonely Mask of Dreams.
Lonely Mask of Dreams.
Existing in between.
I just wanted to highlight these guys. Oh yeah, here they are. Doing arpeggios like that is so fun. I think I found just like an ARP randomizer in a different instrument, and I liked how it ordered the notes so much that I ended up basing this off of that. And then I went off and did a whole bunch of other stuff. This bell sounds really good. That's all I wanted to say. That bell sounds great. All right, let's get to the chorus. This chorus came to me on a walk. I always want the chorus to really hit and be, all the rest of the song can be unfocused in terms of downbeats. But the chorus, I feel like really has to, the listener really has to be able to hook into it and feel it. And so a lot of the choruses that I write are extremely focused around that quarter note beat. So this is how we get this section. Okay, so there's a ton going on here. We've got quite a few vocal channels.
Who's to say if rescue's on the way? I'm a satellite. I'm a satellite.
Also, there is no vocal correction at all in this song. No vocal correction. That was another thing that I really wanted to lean into, was just trusting my ability and my playing. So all of these were off the cuff. There's definitely a whole lot of takes in here, but look at this one. That's one take. Look at that one take. Beautiful. So this is my guitar. The thing that I really want to highlight is this bass. This is an Omnisphere plugin that I really love called Magic Wheelbase. I've used it in a whole lot of songs that are under NDA at the moment. But the cool thing about it is when you go up on the mod wheel, it adds an octave to it. So I really wanted to highlight some specific moments of the bass. Oh, so satisfying. Another moment that I want to highlight in this is when you turn around for the first repeat of the chorus. The drums, that drum fill is deeply satisfying to me. Bow. Let's combine that with the bass. Let's hear it for a second. Whew! That's smacky. That's hitting. And of course, put a shaker in your music. I would say like 60% of this track has a shaker on it, or a tambourine. One of the best pieces of advice I ever received was, when in doubt, add a shaker. Okay, so we get another kind of call back to the beginning section with these big pads, this spacey, it's ethereal. Also wanted to bring in sort of to really hammer in that this is the main motif. Ba, 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 ba. And so we get this sort of extended. And then we add the harmony. Okay, so then something that I accidentally did was I made this section triplets.
When can I stop?
All of a sudden I made it a shuffle. And I felt like it felt so strong to me. But I really struggled with tying it all together. But yeah, then it just kept making sense. So we get this whole shuffle section, which is very, again, it's very satisfying.
When can I breathe?
And here comes Stemage again.
A ceaseless state of shock. Will I ever crawl out from the
Let's just listen to this. So that's a killer solo, and he led so well into this next section. And this is, of course, this is my favorite section of the whole track, and for many reasons. But it's so big. And I was listening to the EP Moo Volume 1 by Richard Henschel, and he does this bit where he like does these big chugs, and it's part of the main rhythm of the progression. And I was like, how would I do a take on that, and how would I make it the biggest part of the whole track? And so I think there's like 5 guitars playing here. Let's just play it. Okay, if any of you have listened to my music previously, you can tell why I like that section. Writing this gent breakdown here, that is like the most guilty pleasure thing I do in any of my music. Also, hard to play. This was hard. Hard to play, but I freaking did it. And of course, it's doubled by a billion things. Yeah, it hits in just all the right ways. I also want to take a moment to right there I switch back to straight, because I'm about to go back into straight as opposed to swung, or as opposed to a shuffle. So I wanted to do like a little bit of mental preparation in the listener. If it doesn't do that, it at least sounds cool. One of my favorite cymbals, especially like crash cymbals to use, is in East-West Goliath. If you go into acoustic drum kits and then you go to metal drum kit and you hit the E key and about a tenth above the bass drum, that's one of the best China cymbals you're ever going to use. Hear me say it now. Anyway, so this is basically the climax of the entire track. And so how do we make the rest of the track exciting? We need to bring back moments that are familiar. We need to change them a little bit. Not right away. This whole section here, the same as earlier.
Existing in between. Who's to say rescues on the way? By the satellite, by the satellite. On these unbound rings, slowly orbiting. By the satellite, by the satellite.
All right, what does every final chorus need? It needs a ripping, high-end solo, high-range solo over top of it. And that's exactly what Stemage did. Okay, that's the whole track. I know I missed a ton of things. If there are any things that you want me to specifically talk about in this track, please let me know. You can ask me. Something I really like to do at the end of, oh God, that was horrible. End of songs, and this is a pretty common thing to do, is you bring back a really early element of the track. And play it almost verbatim. Even though it's the same, you have an entire track's worth of context now. To when you hear it again, it almost sounds totally different. Or you at least have a new understanding of it. And so you process it a little differently. And so it's like, yeah, we're playing the same thing, but like it might look the same, but we went on a whole journey in between it. Okay, well, that's Satellite. We got to give it up for Stemage Grant again on amazing guitar work. And I had fun. I took about 3.5 weeks to write this track. And it got so beefy that it would take about, 50 minutes to export. But I had a really great time making it. Because I gave myself zero expectations. And that is one incredibly freeing thing to give yourself, is to just be like, okay, I'm going to make something. It really helped that for this album, we had a prompt, which was the word flight. And that's all that I went off of. And so I just went off of what was making me feel like I was floating. Okay. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching my production walkthrough of Satellite featuring Stemage by Miles Mercury. Make sure to go buy Flightbox on Bandcamp and listen to all of the tracks. You can also listen to Satellite on SoundCloud. Okay, bye-bye.